Hi, everyone. Thank you for this question. I have been asking this question for 30 years. And so I'm happy to spend some time talking today about where we're at and trying to answer it. So I am Jacqueline Lowers Gore, and I am at Georgia State University in Atlanta. All right. So the questions I'm answering are, how can stress, anxiety, or frustration affect your ability to speak? And then, what can we do about it? Okay, very important questions. I wanted to start with some definitions because I think sometimes those words get confused. So stress is experiencing a perceived threat in the moment. Okay. Whereas anxiety is thinking about a possible threat. So what might happen in the future versus stress, which is right now. Okay. And then what is frustration? So frustration is a feeling that's very much related to being annoyed or disappointed or angry. I see a lot of head nods. You relate to that word, yes. Okay, so let's focus on stress right now. So when we experience stress, there is an increase in certain hormones in our bodies. And it may be that these hormones supply energy to the language system. So some stress may be good too. You know, not all stress is bad. And we had a study where we found that some stress can actually help with word production. So too much stress or not enough stress, though, may not help the ability to speak. Okay. And we do know that some language is related to stress. And so when we look at when people are having conversations or describing a picture, we can look at some of those areas of speaking and see that they are related to certain ways that we measure stress. Okay. For instance, pausing. Okay, yep. All right. So unfortunately though, after many years asking this question and seeing the importance of the question from you all, is that we still do not have a full picture of the effect of stress on speaking, okay? So we still have to figure out what is too much stress, what is too little stress, and then that sweet spot, what's just right, okay? So I'm answering your question with another question, so, all right. And then the other question was, or continuing, I guess, with the stress and anxiety, specifically with anxiety, we think that maybe it could be related to some attention. So if you are thinking a lot about what could go wrong or what threat may come toward you, that attention may be taken away from some of the language. Okay. So that's a thought, all right? But there's a lot of work to be done there. And then frustration, so we know it's an emotion, and it may take away some of the brain power from language. So sort of like the attention stuff. Okay. Importantly, what can we do about this? All right, so like some of the other questions that people had and the answers, we need to learn more about how language and stress and anxiety and frustration do affect speech, and we need to do that by more studies. Okay. More studies. We don't have a lot of studies looking at this, unfortunately. So, and we also are starting to see from some of our work that everybody experiences stress and anxiety differently. Okay, so there's a lot of differences between each of us. And it's really important for people who are living with aphasia, care partners, you know, the people, the professionals who are working in healthcare too, to really tune into their coping skills and understanding what are my coping skills? How do I cope with stress and anxiety and frustration? I'm sorry? Oh, okay. I won't repeat that, but yeah. We all have our own ways of coping, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so we are trying to develop a coping questionnaire for people with aphasia. I'm working on that right now, and there's not one that exists. So it is important for each person to check in with how you're feeling in the moment and what's going on around you. So taking a break can be very helpful, okay, and checking in. So, and sometimes that just comes to us naturally, is I need to take a break. Okay. That's a good thing, all right? And what is this answer based on? Well, the number of studies exploring, looking at this question, there are very few studies. And so we really need to do more studies showing the importance of stress and language, and frustration, as well as anxiety with the language. And there are many people living with aphasia who say that they have, that these all have an effect on speaking. And that's why it was the number 2 question, right? Is because your experience is that this is really important. This is happening to me. And I know from the people that I've met who are living with aphasia, many of them have said, oh, I get tired, or it's, you know, I get worked up, or we can see that too when that happens. And so some of this information is clinical. It's seeing people with it, living through it. All right, and what will happen next? Well, we need scientists to continue to do studies in collaboration with the aphasia community. So it's really, yes, yep, we need to work together to answer these questions. And we need people with aphasia and family to continue to volunteer to participate. We can't answer any of these questions without the willingness and the want for you or for a person to say, yeah, I'll do it. So that takes a lot. And so I think that is it. And I didn't say have a thank you, but there should be big thank you. Thank you there. Sorry.